Good morning, students. Once again, a very hearty welcome to the English world of Aradhya. Students, myself Rashmin sir, teaching English to the students of 9 to 12 standards in English medium. Students, if you remember, last time we were taking the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. We had finished just the first few lines describing the students, what type of students are found in such school classrooms. Slum, I already had told you, slum means very backward areas, झोपड़पट्टी जिसको बोलते हो. तो here the poet is describing such a classroom of slum school. What it will be, what sort of children are there, how is their future, all those questions he raises through this particular poem. And by the end of the poem, we are sure that this children's future is almost nothing. They cannot become any person of status since they are not getting some quality education. Their world is very limited. All those problems are there, so very difficult to say. It is always like that with them. They cannot come up in the life. Whatever their parents are doing, profession I am talking about, in the same profession they will also go, as we saw in those chapters, okay, or Lost Spring. In that chapter we had seen the example of Sahib and Mukesh, where the four generations they have been in the same profession, okay, so they cannot come up in life, their chances are less, and that's why we were considering them underprivileged compared to the privileged people who are getting all the facilities. If you remember, I had given you the example of our Ahmedabad only. The entire Ahmedabad is divided into two parts. Okay, one part where you see a lot of development, some good locality with all the facilities, Navrangpura, Naranpura type areas, and the other side where the people are still living in the slums or chawls with a lot of garbage heaps and many problems in congested houses. So many people are staying together, and then their future also looks dark only. So that way, here we try to understand the poem. I had finished first few lines where only the children were described. Students, what sort of children are there in such classes? Okay, some boys, their hair is not properly combed. Okay, that tall girl with some tension in her head, so the sad head. Okay, some boys almost looking like papers, that much thin, we can say they are the victims of the malnutrition. And like those many other, then another children deformed, he has got that deformity inheritance through his parents. His father was also deformed, he also had that physical problem of bones. His father is suffering from arthritis, and same disease he has also got in inheritance. Okay, so like those children are found normally in the slum schools. They are not able to study. Now we will see how are the classrooms of such schools. Already they are staying in a congested locality, where in a small area too many houses are there, in small houses too many people are staying. And so the school atmosphere also, you see very narrow lanes are there. So school also is situated in such an area. School is not painted for a long time. So the first paint which was done, okay, earlier paint which was done, that has also got now yellowish. The walls look very dark, the walls look very outdated, it requires painting again. And then on the walls you will find some pictures. Normally in every school they keep the photographs of some big leaders, social reformers, try to give some message, or some good photographs with some very good writings. So here how are the classrooms? Now in the next stanza we will come to know how the classrooms are. Okay, before that there was one particular line. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of a squirrel's game in tree room. Other than this, okay, So this one boy was left to be described. What was that boy? That boy was sitting in the end of the class where the light is not reaching. So that part looks very dark, very dim, and that's why that boy was not noted by anyone, not noticed by anyone. That boy was very sweet and young. Okay, and you can see in his eyes what a particular type of dream. It seems that he is dreaming. Dreaming about what? Dreaming about the squirrel's game. Squirrel which is playing the game outside the classroom in the hollow of the tree. So he is also dreaming like playing such games. Okay, his eyes live in a dream. It is already mentioned. He is also just dreaming. Then in tree room, other than this, so his whole focus is on the game of the squirrel, not in the education, not in the teaching which is going on in the class. Okay, now we come to know about the condition of the classroom. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities, build flowery Tyrolese valley, open-handed map awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their futures painted with a fog. Okay, so students, these lines describe the classroom situation. How are the classroom? As I told you, on sour cream walls, the walls have become sour, yellowish. That it has not been painted for a long time, so that's why they look very outdated, yellowish, very sour. And there are certain things hanging on the wall which have come through the donation. Okay, some people must have visited this school and donated the picture of a particular scenery, or here picture of the Shakespeare. Shakespeare is a big name in literature. So Shakespeare's head, only his head part picture, not the entire Shakespeare, only the upper portion where his head is seen. That picture of Shakespeare is there. Cloudless at dawn. So some picture of the dawn. Dawn means early morning. Then civilized dome riding all cities. So here I was telling that one picture of a civilized world where so many big buildings are there in that picture. So like that world is shown to these children, which is exactly opposite to their world. In their locality, hardly anyone would have the house of 2 stories. While here in the picture they find the multi-story buildings, domes over here means. Okay. So, yeah, civilized dome riding all cities. So big city pictures is taken where big buildings can be seen. And then build flowery Tyrolese valley. So here you can also find one Tyrolese valley. Now Tyrolese valley in the world is in Austria. It is a very nice valley with all the flowers. Okay, that's why it is said that it is a flowery valley. People love to go to such a place. Open-handed map. Apart from all these things, there is what? One open-handed map. Okay, map awarding the world its world. Now that map, here we come to know which type of map it is. It is a political world of the entire, all the countries. The world map. It is what? The world map, where all the countries' borders shape could be seen. So if you see the political map of the world where all the countries are described, will you be able to find their slum area in that world? So this is again, student, what? Not matching their world. And that's why it is said over here, awarding the world its world. These people's world is different. These people's world is only their locality, slum area. They cannot think of going out or going into some civilized place. So their world is limited, and they are presented the world in which their slum area is there. But their slum area cannot be seen anywhere in this map, because this map is only just showing the countries and their capitals and big cities, and not such slum area. Okay, so that's why it is said that there is this one map also which is awarding the world its world, means these people's world, they are showing the real world. And yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world. They are giving them the idea that this is your real world in which so many countries are there, their capitals are there, big cities are there, but in this world they don't find their slum. So students, here you see this world map means nothing to them because their locality, their slum area is not seen. Okay. So that's why here the poet makes it very clear that for these children, these windows, not this map, their world. उनका वर्ल्ड कौन सा है? ये मैप में दिखाया वो मैप उनका वर्ल्ड नहीं है, पर ये जो विंडो वाला वर्ल्ड है बराबर, जहाँ उनकी ये क्लासरूम है, छोटे छोटे घर है, यही उनका वर्ल्ड है. ओके. वेयर ऑल देयर फ्यूचर्स painted with a fog, where all their future is painted with a fog. Fog means smoke. Their future is dim. Okay. Nobody can surely talk anything about their future, that this person would become a high-fi person or a person of a status in future, because their future is very dark. It is painted with a fog. So they hardly have any future because they are not getting proper education. Understood? If they are not getting proper education, they will not get the degree. If they don't get the degree, they can't settle anywhere in the world. We can say any workplace. So that's why their future is dark. Okay? The chances of their reaching some high position are very dim. Okay, now students, we move on to the next line. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. So up till now we were shown what? The classroom. How is the classroom? That description we saw. Now their locality is talked about over here. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. If you move in such areas, such slum area, you will hardly get the space. A four-wheeler cannot go in because that much space is also not available. So now in most of the areas I have seen students in Ahmedabad itself, in certain chawls you see, if the person is very serious and if 108 is called, 108 will remain on the road and that person will have to be carried from his house till 108. Earlier this was not the situation, but as the population increased, the people in the chawl started building two-story building or like that, they increased the size of their houses. So the space which was there before their house, that has become very narrow. So only the cyclist can go, motorbiker can go, but four-wheeler cannot go. So students, this is the situation. That's why it is written over here that a narrow street sealed in with a lit sky. If you move into such areas, all the streets are very narrow. And very narrow means they are blocking the view of the sky. The sky looks what? Lead color over here, because their view is blocked. Plus such areas may be affected by the nearby factories or the smokes of the factories and all that. So sky does not appear clear to them. Very limited sky they can see, and that also not clearly. Far, far from rivers, caves and stars of words. So here in the next line, their narrow streets, their area is compared with the other area where everything is quite open. Okay, far, far from rivers. Rivers side if you go, you will see plenty of water, plenty of sky, okay, plenty of the landscape, which is absent over here. Then capes means peninsula, and the stars of words, and stars also you can see all those things very clearly. So there you get full freedom. There your world looks unlimited. While in slum, for those people, their world is very much limited. Surely Shakespeare is wicked. The map a bad example. Now here students, these lines are very important. Shakespeare, if you see, if you have gone through his poems or plays, altogether he has written 37 plays. And most of the plays were written about the royal people. Okay? The royal people. In his plays you would find the king, queen, the prince, princess, all those people. So he has not done anything about the common people. His place, you won't find in his place the stories of common people. You will find only the stories of the royal people. Okay, but he has left his impression on everyone. Even today, his works leave a lasting impression on the readers. But for these people, Shakespeare looks what wicked, because what he portrays in his play, it is completely opposite to these people's situation. Okay, there is hardly any good building in such areas, slum. Okay, while the Shakespeare's play, you will find what palaces and so many royal people with all the facilities and all that. So that's why it is said that Shakespeare is wicked over here. The picture of the Shakespeare which is put on the wall of the classroom, it is meaningless for these children, because Shakespeare is not showing them their world. Shakespeare is showing some other world. Okay, the map, a bad example. Similar is the case with the map. The map is the world map where all the countries are described. All the countries are just drawn with their capitals, where they don't find their slum area. So this map which is hung on the wall, that is also a bad example for them. With ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. Now if you see Shakespeare's world, if you see this map, what you can find in such description, you will find the ships, the sun, all the free life, okay, all the life of the civilized people, where they have freedom to access to all these things. Okay, so that is called with ships and sun. So only the hi-fi people can afford such things. So their world is ships and sun, here means the civilized world, students. And love tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. Now all these things, ships, civilized world is tempting them. Okay, their love, they are yearning for freedom, they are yearning for going to such free world, is tempting them to steal. To steal means to go away quietly from their slum area to such a developed area, for lives that slyly turn in. So it is stealing, it is just attracting. All these things are attractive things for them, and they are only just tempting them. ललचाते हैं कि तुम ये स्लम छोड़ के वहाँ चले जाओ. Okay, for lives that slyly turn in. Lives here means the people who are staying in the slum area. So this particular glorified world, we can say, world full of freedom, is just attracting them. Ki you just come out from your cramped holes. Cramped holes means the small congested houses. Here cramped holes means the small congested houses, where houses size is very small and so many people are living in. So most of the time they remain indoors. From fog to endless night, okay, where they have to spend their time. In the morning when they get up, it is foggy atmosphere, and their night looks endless. So here those things are tempting them. On their slag heap means the heap of the garbage, students. In slum area you will find such garbage heaps. Okay, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel. Here now again the description of the children. Okay, in such garbage areas with full garbage, you see what happens. These children wear skins peeped through by bones. If you look at them, their clothes are already torn, some have not even put on the clothes. So it seems that they have put on the skin just to hide their bones. Their bones could be counted. That much skin, that much thin they are. Victims of malnutrition. Yesterday also I had told you. Okay. Where skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass. Now the specs that we wear, this specs I am talking about, specs that we wear. Okay. So people according to their income, they go for different types of specs. Very rich people will go for costly specs. But here these people cannot afford even the ordinary specs. And their specs are how? Their specs are broken. Okay, the glass inside is broken. So they cannot go for the another one. So they have to just repair it. mend it means repair it. And how are their glasses? They are mended, they are stuck with some fabric or something. You can easily see those cracks in the glass. Okay, like bottle bits on the stones. If you break the bottle on the stones, how many bits it will have? So similar types of bits can be seen in their specs glasses. The glasses are broken that way, but they are mended with something, some fabric or something. They cannot afford to buy a new one. Okay, so students, you got some more ideas about how their condition is in this slum. Okay, Shakespeare does not make any meaning, map does not make any meaning in their life, and all the beautiful things in the world, the nature, scenery is just attracting them to go away from their world to such a world of freedom. And then we are described the boys or the children over here with torn clothes or the victims of malnutrition. Their glasses are also broken, of their specs, the glasses are also broken. They are mended with some fabric or something. Okay, so student, this much you keep in mind. In my next video we will see the remaining poem and also the figures of speech for the same poem. Till then, have a nice day.